We're going to be on page Shin Tzadi Ches.
Which one?
Shin Tzadi Ches.
Okay.
And to me, this is like fairly straightforward to listen to what he's saying. But the thing is that it seems to me like I'm expecting it to be a different order. What am I trying to say? Is he said here he wants to talk about. Well, we'll just read it and I'll comment on it if I want. So in the lower left corner over here, we're reading the Pirush Rahut, and this is talking about Arbes Hamochim the Katnut Rishon in Mazim Ba'arba Hakosa Sheyesh Shtos Pelel Haseder. So I find this as like a steer to my thinking, because I think, why is he talking about Katnus? Katnus is the situation in which we find ourselves, I guess, at the beginning of the Leil the Seder, but we know that Katnus Rishon doesn't come in at this time. It's not the first thing that comes in, but it's the first thing he talks about. Let's see what he says. Inyan arbacha bekosa shel leil Pesach shetiknu lona chachama nishtoi secha b'chal seder hem keneged shlosha mochin the Katnus Rishon. So the concept of mochin the Katnus Rishon. Shem shlosha shemos elokim b'miluehem. Now we've seen this before and we understand this. I'm just wondering why, you start drinking the wine, and we have a rule. I thought we had a rule that Katnus Rishon can't come in at this time. He says the Kavona is that there's these three Elokims that are going to have to be placed into this, which refers to Katnus Rishon. He said, so he said this fact that the Elokims really refer to the Kitzonis of Levushim, Elokim, which are those Kitzonis Levushim, are called Elokim. Commotion is boil la'el. We had this idea of a remez sheyesh be'elach because the shemus chalaluhu. So that the remez is that for these names, Hikain Kos is the minion of Elokim, Gematria Elokim. So let's say, okay, that's true. It is Kos. The Kos is the concept of you're going to fill this Elokim, or something like that. So let's go on. He says, so he says Elokim, and then in the light print up above it says Pasha B'li Milui. So just the basic name Elokim. So you know that you have the basic Elokim is what you're dealing with here. So therefore now you have the four mochin of Katnus Shehem Shemus Elokim B'milui, which is the name Elokim as you spell it out with the variations in the Hey, Hanem Shachem B'Tevuna Rabban Nikros Elokim, and all of this comes from Tevuna, which is the actual deliverer, let's say so to speak, which is called Elokim. Which is that Bina is also Elokim, or the Dinim is Arimina, something like that. So we had this idea before. There's 4 cups and only 3 mochim, because those same Ramaz in the mochim and his karim kimocha das has a split. He says yesh bo shnei cholokim. It has 2 different parts. 1 second. Okay, so he said v'hini kos rishon. So let's talk about the first kos. Now, not in my mind at all is that the first kos is going to somehow be dealing with, but I mean saying this, so it's somehow dealing with Katnus. Is a Katnus Rishon. You're bringing in this Katnus Rishon. So it's okay. V'hine kos rishon ma'arba because ashetik nalon chacham and lomer abelov esakedesh who connected shem elukim demilu yudin. So we went through a little bit this idea of this yud again. I had trouble with it, digesting it when he was talking about the yud represents a kazayas. I don't know where that came from, and it would have to be looked into greater detail for me. So Shem Elokim Demilu Yudin Kazeh, and then he shows it to us. Shuhu b'muach hakatnus, which refers to the katnus harishon, the first. It's a muach of katnus rishon, shazer anpin. Mitzad HaChochma to Devuna. So it's Tevuna that we're focusing on here, right? Because Tevuna is Bina, and it's the Chochma, one of the spheres of Chochma that comes in this Tevuna. So he said, "L'chein tiknuch lanu chachamim shachar kiddush shel leil Pesach," that the kiddush that we go through over here, tzarich sheyir and the amber al kos rishon has to be said on the first one because chachma goes with kaddish, kodesh, like that. They learn most the mucha chachma on nikdach b'zer anpen kenizker in order to be able to give us a hint to the fact that the chachma aspect of tavuna hanikdas b'zer anpen kenizker, that's what's coming in amnan. Ein anem a kavana b'shasa kiddush b'knesis. We're not really having the kavana here to the kinesis of the mocha chachma shel Katnut Rishon, of the mocha of the chachma of Katnut Rishon. The Karpas. So then he says that, right, but wait a minute. The kavana is that I'm trying to understand. Is it because Karpas is later on? Karpas are way back in the back. So he says, "Shal the Katnut Rishon ad the Karpas mitam sheis bar b'drosh abal." So we're going to explain that in the next drush. The steamus the lashon kan shemash b'chad shenekdas Katnut Rishon to the vuna al kos enu nachon. That's not right. So it's obvious that the way that the language is going. And he says, kos means Elokim, and so on and so forth. Einu nachon. Drush zechem zulasa, because this drush is coming from someone else, I guess. I don't know, but zulasa. Vein haloshen shabo meduyak. It's not really careful about what it's saying. V'tzarek litchol kafishin is bar b'chakadamach of the yashem v'chashmua kishmuazo shal marachol. So he says that this idea that the idea that we have some kind of a relationship between the kos and what's so on and so forth with the name Elokim, which refers to Katnus, but we understand, just like I said, that my confusion is that it's referring to Katnut Rishon, which doesn't come until the end. So there's something slightly has to be justified in that. So, but look, he has so much to be able to investigate with this. Anyway, that was the first coast. So as long as he's going in this direction, or this drush is going like this, he said, "V'akosa sheni me'arba chakosha shentisnak l'lon chuchomim lomer alav es haggadah." So this is where we say the Haggadah, who could negate shem elukim demilui hayin. So you can also spell that hey kazeh, and then he shows us aleph lamed fe lamed aleph, and there's the hey. Shehu b'muach hakadnus, which is a gematria of 295. Shehu b'muach hakadnus arishon shel zer anpin mitzad habina the tavuna. So just getting that understanding. This is the deeper part of this. It's coming from tavuna, but it's coming from a certain aspect of tavuna. Before in the first cup, it's the chochma of tavuna. Now it's going to be the bina to tavuna. So I still can't justify this 100% in my mind. Why would we bring this idea in here? But that's what he does, because Katnut Rishon is Rishon, I guess. V'yizbar b'drosh haba, she'ikr muach zecher kvar niknas etzel the Karpas. It already came in when you ate the Karpas. That was before you got to the second cup. Shebekos sheni yesh l'kavin bo shekavar niknas. So over there, you have to kavana that it's already in there. So a little bit more confusion, but that's more like what I'm expecting him to say. But the bo bekos sheni. So therefore, in this second cup, nizker v'divri chazal lomer alav es haggadah. So therefore, the rabbis say that, let's say the haggadah on this second cup shall sipur yitzias b'tzrayim v'forish ma inyan sipur yitzias b'tzrayim ima bina. So he says, wait a minute, this is coming to the bina of tavuna. Where he says so it's very bina-dik. So he says, ma inyan sipur yitzias yitzia im habina. But noida, so he knows what's yitzia got to do with bina. Because it's from Bina, from the 50 gates of Bina. We're able to get out of Mitzrayim. So we're able to get out of our galus. So he says this little fact I can't really verify. She says, written again, he said, Nizkar b'Torah inyan yitzias Mitzrayim chamishim pa'amim. So the Torah mentions this 50 times. Each one of them It's like, since he's talking in the back of the book about cycles and cycles within cycles, so you have the Torah goes through a whole year, 365 days, and in it you have 50 times the concept of building up this Yitzias min Mitzrayim as a result of going through all the weeks of the years, etc. So let's go for V'gam ki pa'ulas hasipur atzma, what is actually accomplished by saying the story she'al yadei kol, it comes from the kol hayotzach min hagoron. Now this is another idea here. He says of who babina, because he says ki habina b'kol parts of shahu. He's so the garon hanikbrach b'shem kol ilah, which is called by that. Now I know that bina is in the garon of Eric Anpin, but I don't know that bina is in the garon. I mean, later on you see chochma and bina. They're each on the side, let's say, so to speak, of the neck area or the body, the upper body area.
He brings that question on the footnote.
Oh, good. Well, would you have the place of it? We could look at that.
Here, nun, the second paragraph in number nun.
Number nun, the second paragraph. Let's look at it. He said in the Amid Davka be parts of Eric Anpin. Zel the Shona bebina de Eric Anpin lo yachlo la'alos v'lichiyos barosh v'nish'arach of the matar of a garon de Eric Anpin. L'chein ein a nikbrach of ratio, so therefore it's not called a head because it's not in the head. V'tam yiridos sham begorim. Why? Masha ein kain b'shar partzuf v'genizka the el. Hu lefish Eric Anpin malvish the atech of the shevet tachton shebel. He says that what Eric Anpin covers over atek, he covers over the zat of atek. And another way of saying that is that the zat of atek is inside of Eric Anpin. V'or atech b'yomim godol ma'od ma'od, this extremely powerful light of the Ein Sof. Vein koch bebina de Eric Anpin l'kabel or the atek yomim b'hiyosach ukrov v'resha the Eric Anpin, and the fact that it's nearby the head of Eric Anpin, so that it's close by, but it's not in the head. Because shecha b'yardach of the mount of begarim the Eric Anpin v'nis rak ma'at yochlo the kabel or atek yomim sham, there in that position. I guess it means to say that it's mismayet to a certain extent, and it's able to bekabel this light. So since it's tremendous distance from them, should be called parts of should be in the rosh, shall the parts of yachad shnechen l'mala b'rosh of parts of Adkan. Excellent, thank you so much.
Actually,
for bringing
it. The first paragraph actually says the answer. That's really the question. What he said. The second one.
What did you say? You mean Nun Aleph, or what did you mean?
Yeah, first paragraph in Nun. In the second one,
the first paragraph asked the question. Okay. Well, you see, that was an obvious question. We're still playing around with the idea of. It seems to be important that we deal with the concept of Elokim, and the concept of Katnut Rishon. Okay, so I think we went through the Pirush Rahut there, and now we're on the next page. That was the Kos Hasheni. So let me just read at the top, so I already forgot a little bit of what it was said. So we say on the previous page, it said at the very top, it says Sipur Yitzias Mitzrayim B'Nodeki B'Koach Hamishim Shari Bina Yatzi Yisrael Mitzrayim. So he said, V'gam ki Sipur Atzma, this story itself, this kind of idea of the story, Hu B'Bina ki he sold Hagaron, and that's what he wanted to say, and then this has a stira to it, which he pointed out, Hanikra kol ilo de minon nafke kol hadibor. So he's really talking about Eric Anpin, or the Eric Anpin of every parts of. I could say like that too, maybe. So let's go on a little bit more. So he said, V'hakosa shlish v'revi. Now we had this in the sixth drush. He talked like this. So he said, "V'chakosa revi, ma'arba chakosas, all the 4 different kosas. Shetigdol lana chochomen lomer rabelecha bebechas amazav v'halal. Heim keneged muach hadas shebaemsa. This corresponds to the muach hadas that's in between them. So he said, Shebo nimsa muach shel chasadim, miyamin and muach hagvuras b'small. The shemos hamochim shel shneim chem elokim b'milui alofim. So here we're seeing the concept of the letter Aleph. What does it do? And it's a gematria 291. So he says, and he shows it to us. This is what it looks like. Elishuhu Aleph sheb'milui ha'oz hey. But this is Aleph. This Aleph has to do with Bina. Bina is the hey. The Aleph goes along with Bina, the hey Aleph, Shebemuach Shel Chasadim, Hitzuras Yud Vav Yud. But so when you're talking about the right side of the middle line, then it's going to be the Aleph that makes up that hey, is going to be a Yud Vav Yud. It says, V'hoz Aleph Shebemilu Oz Hey Shebemuach Shel Gavuros, Hitzuras Yud Vav Dalet. So this is the kavanah that you should have here. When you're getting to the 3rd and the 4th, the 4th. Since they're incorporated together and they're joined together in the muach hadas. So therefore it's in the middle. So in the middle it splits in the middle too. He says, Lo yishta kos yayin nosef. You can't add on any more wine at this point. Lefi shemafri, because these two, he had that answer in the 6th drush, whereas one inside the other and the other's inside of the other, like that. Yishta kos nosef, the sheep lefa mafrid, bein chelki hamuach hadas choitehu. So if you do that, and he went on to say that this was also the sin of Adam Rishon. Vod yizbar l'kaman b'drash haba shebetam zecha b'yesh the kaven as kavanas kos revi. So this idea, you should have the kavanah for the 4th cup, gam b'kos shlishi. So have them both together with the revi. You have the concept of the shlishi, and with the shlishi, you have the concept of the revi. We saw that in the back. Bas kavanas kos shlishi gam b'kos revi kedei l'kolo osom l'chabram yachad, and bring them all together. Okay, we're going to stop here. And, all right, so that was very good. Thank you.